Hello, Alabama. Paul Feinbaum says Alabama and Kalen DeBoer are sending a signal to the rest of college football? Want to see the latest from Alabama? Subscribe to the channel to receive more Bama news. The program has not lost its essence. On the contrary, with DeBoer, Alabama is proving that greatness does not depend solely on an iconic figure, but on the culture rooted in its values and processes. And this has been evident in recent weeks, as highlighted by analyst Paul Feinbaum, who did not spare praise for the work of DeBoer and his staff. Feinbaum was emphatic in stating that Alabama is sending a clear signal to the rest of the country. Despite the changes in leadership, the Crimson Tide remains an unshakable powerhouse. Recent recruiting is proof of that. With 10 key signings already locked in for the 2026 class, Alabama has not only reaffirmed its status as a desirable destination for the nation's top talent, but it has also shown that the post-Saban transition has been smoother than many would have imagined. Kalen DeBoer, in his second year at the helm of the program, appears to have found the right balance between maintaining Alabama's identity and implementing his own vision. He has brought stability, something Feinbaum noted as crucial in this time of transition. The lack of players in the transfer portal after spring practice was a sign that the locker room is cohesive and aligned with DeBoer's vision. That in itself would be a significant win. But the coach isn't stopping there. He and his staff are building a recruiting machine that harks back to the Saban heyday, when Alabama was virtually unbeatable in that regard. The names that make up the 2026 class are impressive. Xavier Griffin, considered the best linebacker in his class, is the kind of player who can transform a defense. Xavier Crowell, an elite running back, brings versatility and explosiveness to the offense. Jet Tomala, Sam Utu and Max Sutter add depth and talent to the offensive positions. And let's not forget Jordan Edmonds and Zion Gibson, two previously confirmed recruits who further reinforce the quality of this class. Each of these recruits is a brick in the foundation that DeBoer is building, and together they form a solid foundation for the future. But what's really striking is the message this sends to the rest of high school football. While many programs are struggling to adapt to the new realities of recruiting, especially with the increased use of the transfer portal and immediate eligibility rules, Alabama is navigating these turbulent waters as masterfully as ever. Feinbaum was adamant that, even without Saban, Alabama is still Alabama. That statement may sound arrogant to some, but it's hard to argue with it when you look at the numbers and the results. Another interesting point Feinbaum raises is the question of who is losing these recruiting battles for Alabama. In recent years, the Crimson Tide has seen some of its targets choose other programs, especially rivals like Georgia and Ohio State. Now, it appears the tide is turning. Alabama is not only regaining ground, but also dominating the field again. This raises intriguing questions about what impact this shift could have in the years to come. If the Crimson Tide is able to attract top talent, it means other programs are falling behind. And in a sport as competitive as high school football, that could make all the difference. Greg McElroy, another name who understands Alabama's DNA well, added that there's more to come. Wide receiver Cedarian Morgan, one of the biggest prizes in the 2026 class, has yet to make his decision, but Alabama is among the finalists. If Morgan chooses the Crimson Tide, it would be another recruiting coup and an even stronger signal that the program is back on top. The combination of tradition, infrastructure and visionary leadership is allowing the Crimson Tide to not only keep up with the changes, but also to stand out from them. And that's a good thing. Can the team maintain its place at the top of college football amid the new nil era? The debate, raised by voices like Greg McElroy and Paul Feinbaum, has Alabama in question, and whether the program can continue to be the alpha dog in a landscape where universities like Texas and Texas A&M are flexing their financial muscles. But for Crimson Tide fans, there is plenty of reason to remain optimistic, especially with Kalen DeBoer at the helm, a coach who has demonstrated an ability to navigate these turbulent waters. The departure of Nick Saban, a legend who led Alabama to 6 national titles in 17 seasons, could have been a devastating blow. After all, Saban was not just a coach, he was the backbone of a program that became synonymous with excellence. When he hung up his whistle, pessimistic voices arose, suggesting that Alabama could lose its luster without the maestro who orchestrated so many victories. But those doomsday predictions have been muted. Alabama, under DeBoer's leadership, has proven that the program is bigger than any name, no matter how legendary. The idea that the Crimson Tide was done as a powerhouse has, as Feinbaum pointed out, been completely disproved. Alabama's strength lies not just in its tradition or the talent that parades around Bryant-Denny Stadium, but in its ability to adapt. The NIL era has ushered in a new paradigm, in which the financial clout of rival programs like Texas and Texas A&M has become a real threat. McElroy questioned whether Alabama could maintain its dominance in a landscape where money talks more than ever. And yes, it's true that the financial resources of these schools are impressive. But Alabama is no stranger to this game. Last spring, as the transfer market raged and the chaos of the NIL tested the loyalty of its players, the Crimson Tide gave a clear answer: no players were lost. This isn't just a tactical victory, it's a demonstration that the program knows how to play its cards right, both on and off the field. Kalen DeBoer, with his methodical and charismatic approach, has been instrumental in this process. He not only inherited an elite program, but he also brought a new energy, a vision that combines Alabama's tradition with the need for innovation in a game that has radically changed. The ability to keep the roster intact in a time of such uncertainty shows that DeBoer understands the stakes. Signing a talented player is one thing, keeping him loyal to Tuscaloosa, with all the financial temptations of the NIL, is quite another. And in this regard, Alabama is ahead of the curve. Feinbaum stressed that Alabama's future in the NIL era is not yet fully defined. There is, indeed, some concern among fans, a natural apprehension in such a volatile environment. But he also acknowledges that Alabama is well positioned to face these challenges. The new House agreement, which promises to bring more structure to the chaos of the NIL, could be a boon for the Crimson Tide. Unlike just a few months ago, when the market seemed like a race for talent, the new rules could level the playing field, favoring programs with the right mix of tradition, smart management, and cultural appeal. And who better to capitalize on that than Alabama? What makes Alabama special isn't just the money, though the program certainly isn't empty-handed. It's the culture. It's the weight of the crimson jersey, the passion of a packed fan base week after week, and the promise of competing for national titles year after year. DeBoer understands that. He knows that for every player who puts on an Alabama uniform, there's more at stake than just a check. There's a chance to make history, to leave a legacy at one of the most iconic programs in sports. And while other programs may brandish their checkbooks, Alabama responds with something money can't buy, an identity forged through decades of winning. Looking ahead, Alabama is well equipped to continue being the Bama it has always been. The NIL era may be a challenge, but it is also an opportunity. I look forward to hearing your thoughts.